What's up?
Good to be back, right?
Good to be back. Yes.
Yeah.
Been a while. Back in the cozy comfort of my whole little setup here. You know, it's been a few days, so it was nice to really get back in the real lab.
Yeah, the real lab. Your outdoor lab was a total fail, so we won't do that again.
No. No.
But yeah. So initial thoughts on how the NBA playoffs have been going? Enjoyable?
Yeah, they've been very enjoyable. I love that that Suns Clippers game was just that was probably my favorite game so far. I think that was an awesome game. But
yeah, I wish they started those games a little earlier. You have the benefit of the West Coast time, and tomorrow night is crazy. There's 3 games. 2 of them start at 10 and 10:30 at night East Coast. So
someone needs a nappy tomorrow.
I might need a nap. But the problem is the East Coast games. The West Coast games are so much better. Like so much higher energy.
So
like
much more scoring. Yeah.
I watched the Nets Sixers last night, and that was fun. Like, a lot of good talent out there, but the pace and the excitement of that Kings Warriors game was just through the roof.
So good.
Yep, yeah, so good. All right. Well, with that said, we have 2 East Coast games and 1 West Coast game tonight. So let's dive into it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. 7 p.m. Eastern time. We got the Hawks at the Celtics. Celtics are -10 at home. Total is 230.5. Just to recap game 1, the Celtics really dominated. The final score didn't really indicate so. It was 112-99. So a little 13-point margin. But there was never any doubt that they were winning this game.
They took their foot off the gas at the end there, I think. Yeah.
Most of the big games came on the Celtics side. Brown had 29 points, 12 rebounds. Tatum had 25 points, 11 rebounds, and our man Al Horford had 6 points, 9 rebounds. And on the Hawks side, it was really DeJounte Murray had 24, 8, and 6. So, all right. So, what do you like here?
I don't like that you failed to leave out or that you left out Al Horford's assists. I'm a little offended by that.
Well, I was focusing on the rebounds because you and I both, for some reason, were both on his rebounds. We did this awesome analysis to prove that his rebounds in the playoffs go up 20% over the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, we independently came up with it and talked ourselves out from posting it, and it nailed.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if you're back on that one tonight. But anyway,
all right.
Like, yeah.
Should we save our one guy to the end here, or you want to tackle him right away?
Which guy?
There's one guy we had a little back and forth earlier today about.
Oh, yeah. No, save him for last. Okay. Start with the Hawks side. Who do you like on the Hawks?
All right. Another one of your faves here, Mr. Clint Capella. I like the bigs against Boston. Not a ton of great matchups here, but I think the big men it seems to be performing a little bit better going up against Boston here. So I like Capella, and I think I like his points here, 10.5 points. When I looked earlier, it was plus 100. That was a couple hours ago. I don't know if it's changed, but probably still pretty good odds. I like this. He's done it. They're on 2 days rest today. You have 2 games where all 4 teams are on 2 days rest. So I always like digging into those numbers. Last 8 of 9 on 2 days rest, averaging over 14 points a game. Last 2 games against Boston, he put up 12 in each game. 7 of 10 overall. But if you increase his minutes filter to 25 plus minutes, it's 9 of 10. And if you want to go back even further, 24 of 30 with 25 plus minutes. Clint's cleared this in. So you're somewhat of the Clint whisperer. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, I love it. I love the points. I actually started looking at rebounds because that's where I start all my days. And he hasn't rebounded very well against the Celtics for some reason. But when Tatum's getting 11 boards and Horford 9 and Brown 12. That means Clint's not really doing his job on the boards. But yeah, I started with rebounds. I moved over to PR, 20.5 PR. a lot of the same stats. I was looking at 2 days. I was looking at 20+ minutes, all very Capella-ing. And on the but I did think the points was probably the best play. You know, I wish it was 9.5, but I'll take that 10.5 as well. So I mean, I think that's a good play.
The 10.5 plus 100. I didn't look at the adjusted line, but I mean, if the 10.5 plus 100, the adjusted, 9.5 is probably, I guess, minus 130 something, right?
Yeah, I just say that because he is a horrendous free throw shooter. So to get that extra point is could be rough. But then again, he does get fouled and won quite a bit. So, all right, so that's good. I like Capella. The only reason why I was favoring a little bit the PR is because he does always have the potential to put up 16 rebounds in a night. So.
And he's been hot. I mean, he's been playing well this home stretch of the season here. He's been pretty awesome. So, I kind of took that same path today as well, between rebounds to PR over to points. So I think we went on the same expedition there. The other one I like for Atlanta, the other big man, one of the other big men is John Collins. I was also on his points here, 11.5 points, minus 130. He's done this in 4 of his last 5 games against Boston, and in the only miss, he had 11 points. So just got hooked. He's done it in 11 of 13 games on 2 days rest when he plays 28+ minutes, which shouldn't be a problem here, averaging 17 points a game. So just crushing on 2 days rest. If you want to look even more recently, 5 straight games on 2 days rest when he plays 28+ minutes, averaging 18.5 points. So that's clearing it by a whole 7 points right there. He's done it in 8 of 10 when he plays 24+ minutes. He's done it in 8 of 10 when he plays 28+ minutes. And he's done it in 24 of 30 when he plays 28+ minutes. So I saw him leading the team. I was watching some of the game the other day, some of the huddles. He seemed to be like taking on some sort of this like vocal leader role a bit. So I don't know. I see him very engaged, and I think this is a good spot for him.
Yeah, I also saw that, and I was very excited about it. He's getting good enough minutes, 29 minutes in the previous game, which isn't that different than the previous 2 matchups against Boston. He had 29 and 32 minutes. Mm-hmm. The reason why I pulled back on this is I did not like the number of shot attempts he had. So in his first 2 games against Boston, he went 6 for 12 from the field. Okay. Second game, he went 5 for 13. And the last game in the playoffs, he went 5 for 7. So he in order to get 12 points and clear that line, he had to shoot 71%. So, so you can look at that 2 ways. You can look at that as like, all right, he's not going to repeat that again tonight, but the Hawks have to change something, right? Like they can't come out with the same game plan. So maybe he plays a larger role. So it's a good play. I'm a little lukewarm on it just because of his low shots attempted.
Yeah, I kind of was thinking the same narrative, like they do have to change something up. And I thought in that previous game, they looked the best when Trae Young was on the bench. So I think he may get some increased minutes here. I think some of these other guys, Murray looked pretty good. I think, I don't know, something was, I don't think Trae Young's going to be on this team next year based on what I was kind of seeing in this game.
Yeah, when they get bounced in 4 games, he's certainly moving on. But
more importantly, when they get bounced in 4 games, how are you going to start your mornings then?
Oh, I just find another big man. Okay. It'll probably move to Al Horford.
Okay.
All right. Anybody? I had nobody else on the Hawks side.
No, that was all I had.
Yeah. All right. So let's move to the exciting side, the Celtics.
All right, I just have one other than the guy we're saving for last here. So Big Al, but you reminded me of the rebounds. I didn't dig as hard into that one, so I'm glad you brought it up, even though we were on the other day. I like his assists here. It is juicy at minus 165 for 2.5 assists, but he's done in 10 of 12 games on 2 days rest. 3 of his last 4 against Atlanta. 8 of 10 overall, 14 of 16 overall, and this was nice. 17 of his last 20 playoff games, he's cleared this in. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays much bigger minutes. He played 38 minutes the other day, right? So he definitely plays much bigger minutes in the playoffs. I think maybe I liked his rebounds again. His line was still, I think, what was it, 5.5 the other day? It went up to 6.5.
6.5 today.
But it's plus 100. And in his 3 games against Atlanta this year, 11, 4, and the playoff game 9.
Yeah.
So, probably the safest way to approach this is to do the RA, right? RA is 9.5. It's minus 125. So you're not paying all that juice on the assist line. And again, he's done that in 2 of the 3 games, 15, 7, and 11. So
I mean, he could just get there on rebounds alone, right? So.
Yeah. So I think he's good for at least 3 rebounds, and at least
3 assists. You mean?
3 assists and at least 7 rebounds. So I think that's probably a good play too.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So let me do my play before we dive into the controversial one. I really like Derek White tonight. I started with his assists at 4.5 because he's done this in 5 of his last 6 games versus Atlanta. Some of those I think were maybe 1 or 2 of those were on the Spurs, but he in the only game that he missed, he only played 5 minutes in that game. So that's basically 5 for 5. Yeah. Played 38 minutes in game 1. And which then brought me over to his points. His line is 15.5 points. He's done that in 3 or 4 games against Atlanta this year. Again, the one that he didn't was a game he played 5 minutes. So that's basically 3 for 3. So the question is why is his line so low? He's only hit 15.5 points in 34% of games this year. So that's a very low hit rate. But when you look at his usage, if he plays 35 minutes, he's hit in 83% of games. If he plays 37 minutes or more, he's done this in 9 of 10 games. So, and he's averaging 20.1 points in those games. So it's really strictly about usage, right? If he plays big minutes tonight, 35 plus minutes, he's going to hit this. If they pull back on him a little bit, then he won't. But I think this is somewhat of I wouldn't say a must win for the Celtics, but it's an important win because if you end up splitting at home and then going back to Atlanta, that actually is advantageous for the Hawks. So I think they're going to continue to play big minutes. They probably have an extra day of rest in between this game and the next one. So so I see him crushing the 15.5 points, maybe 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, those are. It's hard to pass up. You see a guy out there for 38 minutes. I don't see why it would change much. Maybe if the next guy we talk about is like super hot in this game, then maybe that might cut into White's minutes a bit. But I like that play.
All right, enough teasing it. Who do you like? Who's the controversial pick for today?
All right, we're gonna go. We've had, what was it, six Twitter picks on this guy since January.
Yeah, but forget January. Since March 8th, we've played Brogdon. Oh, I just spilled the beans. That's all right. Sorry. We've played him 5 times.
Wow.
And we've lost 3. We've pushed 1, and we won 1. So
I thought we won 2. No, we won 2.
Yeah, the other win was back in January, so I'm throwing that one out.
Okay.
So Tom has a recent obsession with Brogdon and playing him, and he's got this delusion in his head that we win every time we play him, and we don't. We have a winning record, and yet we don't have a winning record with Brogdon. So he's been begging me, can I play him tonight? And ultimately, we're going to see what he says here.
All right. So I like his points here. 11.5 points. We've been all over the place with Brogdon. PAR, PR, PA, right? It's been
3-pointers
even, right? Yeah.
Everything. Yep.
Yeah. So the reason I like his points here, obviously on 2 days rest, he's done it in 10 of his last 12 games on 2 days rest. And those, the 2 games he missed are on the 2 tail ends. So he has a nice sandwich of 10 straight games that he cleared this in. Averaging 15 points a game. He's done it in 9 straight games on 2 days rest when he plays 22 plus minutes. Okay. Averaging just under 16 points a game. He's done it in 10 straight games when he plays 22 plus minutes. He's done it in 43 of 48 games this season when he plays 22 plus minutes. Only 22. We're not talking about 35. We're not talking about 38. We're talking about 22 minutes. What did he play in the last game? 24?
21.4.
21. Okay.
Just south of your 22.
He will play more in this game than 21 minutes.
I could see that. I don't really know why he played so few minutes. He did. Oh, he did have
because he wasn't great. He wasn't playing well. Right?
Yeah, he wasn't playing well. And he only attempted 6 shots. So he went 1 for 6, as opposed to the prior games. He's been attempting in the last 10 games. He's attempting 12 shots a game. So he shot half of what he usually shoots.
There you go.
So yes, I see all the statistics. All right, so it's Brogdon 11.5 points. You got anything else?
This is like you have to forget about all. This is like at roulette or whatever. You know, don't worry about what happened there. Just they're all independent events, right?
So this is a new spin today. spin number 7 of the season. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, he averages on the season. He usually plays 26, 28 minutes, right? On the season, that's probably what he's averaging. So for 22 for him, I think that was a bit of an aberration in that first game because he was shooting so poorly. And so that is my play. We'll see if that ends up going up on Twitter after we reconvene. But that's why I like it so much. Remember, 43 of 48 games this season.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I'm going to do a little digging and see what the... You know, if I can find any indication that he'll play more than 22 minutes today, then I'm all behind it. So.
All right.
Regardless, it's going up just so we have a good story to tell.
Okay.
All right. Next game. Let's move on. We got the Knicks at the Cavs. That's at 7:30 Eastern time tonight. Cavs are -5.5 at home. Total's 214. So everybody expected the Cavs to come out, pop the Knicks in the face in game 1, and they didn't. And now they're in a pretty dangerous spot. Knicks go back to the Garden where they played really well, 1-1, no big deal. Yeah. Cavs go there 0-2, they're in big trouble. So this is a must win. What I will also say is the Cavs played their starters massive minutes. They played their guys. I think at least 3 or 4 of their starters 40+ minutes, whereas the Knicks didn't play anybody more than 33 minutes, I think it was.
Which is unusual. Usually the Knicks are the ones with big minutes, like Randall and
So, what does that all mean? I don't know. They're probably, they've all recovered now, having multiple days off, but that's not sustainable either to play your players 43, 44 minutes for what it will likely end up being a 6 or 7 game series. So just to note.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So who do you like here?
All right, let's start with the one we had from the other day. Unfortunately, it didn't catch the other day, but we're going to run it back here. Mobley over 2.5 assists, -135. You can look on Twitter there to see all the stats. We have one new one to add today. His 2 days rest stats here. He's done in 6 of 7 on 2 days rest. 2 of those 7 games just happen to be against the Knicks this season. So he's not just getting there, like he's not just getting 3. If you want, I can read you off 5, 6, 4, 3, 7. I mean, just really, really good numbers. He's done in 9 of 10 overall, 10 of 11 when he plays 35+ minutes, and 6 of 7 against the Knicks. That only miss being in that last game 1.
Yeah, it is interesting though. You're getting it at a worse price, right? I think it was -115, -120 the other day now. But yeah, I like that. I mean, I think he's always good. He's going to play big minutes, and it's just a matter of whether or not his team hits shots, right? So, okay, good. Right. Anybody else on the Cavs side? Yeah,
I got a couple more. They were flowing on the Cavs side here. So real quick, I thought Darius Garland over 2.5 rebounds at +120 was a nice play. Not a ton of recent stuff, but just on 2 days rest, he's done in 8 of his last 10 games on 2 days rest. So some guys, just and especially at a low number like that, I thought that was a nice one. I just wanted to point out.
Okay.
Then the other big man I like as well, Jared Allen. I like his points and I like his rebounds individually. 13.5 points, -125. He's done this in his last 11 of 14 games in games that he played with Garland and Mitchell, and played 35+ minutes, which is pretty good. And I like that for him because, they're going to distribute the ball to him. They're going to be, he's getting more shots with those guys in the rotation. So I thought that was a nice way to look at some of his numbers here. He's done it in 3 of his last 4 against the Knicks. But if you take out the one game he missed, he only played 25 minutes in that game. If you take that out, he's done it in 3 straight games against the Knicks, averaging almost 19 points a game. And he's done it in 4 of his last 5 on 2 days rest when he plays more than 32 minutes, which will not be a problem here.
Yeah, and he is a player who plays better at home. He averages 13.8 points on the road, 14.7 at home. So, so I think it's a great play tonight. I think he played 40 plus minutes, so he doesn't do that very often. So I think if he does that again, it's definite cash. And again, I started with rebounds, 10.5 rebounds, which was also really good against the Knicks. And then I moved over to points. I think either of them is a good play. But I would play them independently, like you said.
Yes. Yeah, I like them independently as well. The rebounds, I don't know if it still is, but it was plus money. It was plus 105 when I looked earlier today.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out the last 3 games he played with Mitchell and Garland and played more than 35 minutes, 14 rebounds in all 3 of those games. 14, 14, 14. So pretty nice there. And then my last guy, Chetty Osman. He's got a nice matchup against the Knicks. So stationary shooters are averaging just under 16 points a game against the Knicks. He played, I think he played about 18 minutes or so last game. Yeah. He's cleared this line in 23 of 28 games this season when he plays more than 18 minutes. And when you look at games when he's on 2 days rest and plays more than 18 minutes, 13 of 14 games this season. And he's also done it in 4 straight games against the Knicks when he plays more than 16 minutes.
What was the line again? Over what?
7.5 points plus 100.
Wow. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he shoots, if I recall, he shoots quite a bit of 3-pointers.
He does, yeah.
He could get 6 points easily just on threes.
Yeah.
But I think he also gets to the line a decent amount when he plays.
He does,
yeah. So I think that's a nice play. I like that one.
All right.
I liked on the Cavs side, I like Donovan Mitchell, man. 32.5 points. He played 40 plus minutes the other day. Listen to this. He's played 40 minutes in 13 games this year, and he's hit in over 32.5 points in 11 of the 13 games. First of all, I can't believe he's played 40 minutes in 13 games. That seems like a lot. But listen to his average in those 13 games. He's averaging 39.8 points. So he almost averages a point a minute when he plays these 40-point games. 3 for 3 versus the Knicks at home. Scored 38, 42, and 38 in those games. The guy just has his way with the Knicks, especially in Cleveland. And I think he's the kind of player who is just going to shoot massive amount of 3-pointers. He's going to put up 15, 16 3-pointers tonight, probably. So I could easily see him scoring 40 points tonight. So 32.5 is a nice clear.
I like this. Yeah, we have to put a little bit more behind this pick because this is not a typical pick for you. A high line superstar point pick is not in your wheelhouse. So if you're feeling this, I really like it.
You're right. I typically like anything lower than 8 or 9. So 32.5 is really high for me. But he's the guy there. So he's gonna score a ton tonight, I think.
All right.
And I could see him putting up like 20 points. Mark my words here. I could see him putting up close to let's say 16 to 20 in the first quarter. You ready for that? I could see him coming out firing. So very important game. All right.
What's his first quarter point line? Let's hit that.
I bet it's like 8.5, 9.5, something like that. So
all right.
All right. Let's move on to the Knicks side. I'll look that up while you.
All right. So we had some discussion on this earlier today. We were thinking about putting it up on Twitter, but wanted to chat about it on the pod here with you. So actually, I didn't look before we went on. Maybe you could also see what Josh Hart's status is real quick.
Yeah.
He was doubtful earlier this morning. Then he got upgraded to questionable. So I don't know if he plays or not. But Quentin Grimes over 2.5 rebounds. It's minus 150. It's minus 150 on FanDuel. It's minus 150 on DraftKings. So you're paying some juice, but he's done it in 7 straight games on 2 days rest, averaging 4.7. He's done it in 3 of his last 4 against Cleveland, averaging 3.8. When he plays 25 plus minutes, he's done in 22 of 29, 22 of his last 29 games, He's done it 4 straight games with Randall and Brunson. So I thought that was nice because Julius missed a nice chunk there at the end of the season. And not just clearing it, but in those 4 games with Randall and Brunson, 5, 8, 9, and 5. And now if Josh Hart misses, you want to look at games with Randall and Brunson, but without Josh Hart. He's done it 9 of his last 10 games with that combination. And if you dig back even more, just games without Josh Hart, 22 of 30.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad. Josh Hart is a game time decision, so It's hard to know whether or not he'll play. But
I don't think it makes a huge impact. I still like this, whether he plays or not. But if he's out, it's really good.
Yeah, and again, that's a good candidate. Like when you have a nice low line like that, that's a good candidate. If you don't want to pay the minus 150, you could do a live bet. Wait, Grimes usually starts, right? He's starting for the Knicks.
Yeah, he's starting. Yep.
So wait, 5 minutes into the game and place it. If he gets one by then scrap the bet. If he doesn't, you'll probably be down to minus 120 by then. So that's another way of approaching it. Anybody else on the Knicks side?
2 others real quick. I thought this one on Mitchell Robinson was really nice. Over 1.5 steals and is plus 180. He's done it in 3 straight games against the Cavs. He's done it in 4 of his last 5 games overall, and 2 straight games on 2 days rest. So just because it's plus 180, I thought it was juicy and a very recent success against the Cavs. So I like that. This one I think is nice here though. Julius over 8.5 rebounds, minus 125. He's done this in 5 straight games on 2 days rest, averaging 13.5 rebounds. He's done it. This is awesome. In 22 of his last 26 games on the road, he's cleared this line in. 4 straight games against Cleveland, averaging over 10 rebounds a game. He had 10 in game 1. And then I thought this was interesting. I went back to the last time the Knicks were in the playoffs. They had that 21 series against Atlanta. In the 5 games they played, his rebound output, 12, 12, 11, 10, 13.
Yeah, that's nice. I was on Julius as well. I started with his assists, 3.5 assists, which he's done in all 4 games against Cleveland. Then I moved over to his RA because I also noticed that his rebounds was nice. The RA is only 11.5, so I think that's also good. He's hit that in 4 games. So whatever variety of that you like, I think they're all good. I think he's a solid play.
It's a great play.
Coming off of an injury, he led the team in minutes, so he's going to play even more minutes tonight. I think that's a good play.
All right.
Anything else on this game?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Just to close that Mitchell conversation, Mitchell's line is, in fact, 8.5 for the first quarter. And I'll tell you how he performed in the 3 games at home versus the Knicks. He had 5 last game, so really poor performance, right? He went only 2 for 5 from shooting, so he didn't really shoot very much in the first quarter. The previous 2 games, he had 15 and 23.
Wow.
So, right?
That's a good one. That first quarter one is nice. I like that.
I think you're going to see a huge performance from him coming out of the gates. I think him only shooting the ball, what was it, 5 times or something?
Yeah, 2 for 5.
2 for 5. That's not going to cut it for them. So
no.
All right, cool. So let's move on to the last game. We got the Clippers at the Suns. Suns are minus 8 at home. Total is 226. The Clippers won the first game 115-110. Really kind of out hustled the Suns from what I saw from the highlights. And Kawhi obviously had a monster game with 38, 5, and 5. And they out rebounded them like crazy, right? Zubac had 15 rebounds. Plumlee had 11 rebounds. So, so we'll see. We'll see what tonight brings. What do you like here?
So part of what you may have missed, I know it was a late game for you. So the part of what you may have missed at the end of that game was Kevin Durant kind of standing around, kind of deferring to not Devin Booker, deferring to DeAndre Ayton. I thought it was I'm like, why is Ayton have the ball so much at the end of this game? Like it was crazy. So I don't think that happens again, especially after that brutal game 1 loss. So I think I just see Durant taking over in this game. I was on him on his points the other day at 26.5 and it cashed. It's up to 27.5 today. He's done it in 4 of 6 games with the Suns when he plays 30 plus minutes. And And I just expect him to take more control and not be deferring to guys. He did have 11. He had 11 assists, I think, in game one. So I don't see that repeating. I can see people being on his assists. I think it's a scoring game for Durant here to even up the series. So I like that over 27.5.
Yeah, and again, this just like the Cavs game. This is must win. They can't lose this game and go to LA down 2. So So either Durant is going to score 30 or Booker's going to score 30. So I mean that's a decent hedge too. You could play them both of their lines over, and hopefully they both
make a little. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else on the Suns side?
That was all I had on the Suns.
Yeah, I didn't have anybody on the Suns. Had a couple plays on the Clippers. What do you like on that side?
All right. That game was the most Russell Westbrook game of all time. Last game, the guy, it's like, how can they even keep him on the floor? He was shooting 3 for 19 or whatever it was, but then he has the biggest, most impactful plays of the game at the same time. So,
the most popular clip on him was him fighting with the fan at halftime. So, he's just fun.
He is. So,
all right. So, what do you like for him?
So, I like his rebounds. His offensive rebounding was off the charts in game one. He rebounded 13% of the Clippers' missed field goals. That's the same level that Zubac and Plumlee rebound at. And this is a guard, obviously. He also rebounded 17% of Phoenix's missed shots, which are the defensive rebounds. So he's just been a beast on the boards. I don't see that. I don't see that stopping. He's got 2 guys. Him and Durant came up together as babies. With the Thunder. He played a bunch of years with Chris Paul. He knows these guys. He's got that competitive fire, just amped up all over the place. So I like him over 6.5 rebounds here at -120. I think this is a great bet. He's done in 4 of his last 5 games against Phoenix when he plays 32 plus minutes. I like that because that's even when he was with the Lakers, but they have that Chris Paul factor. So I think you can read into that. And then he had 6 rebounds off the bench in 28 minutes against the Nets back in November when KD was on the Nets. So I think he probably gets up for that too. He'll play more than 28 minutes in this game. So I see him clearing this line, no problem.
Yeah, I like that. I was also on him, but I liked his assists. So I'm assuming he's going to play 35 plus minutes again.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He played, 36.5 minutes in the last game.
Yeah.
So since he joined the Clippers, he is 8 for 8 in crossing this line in games with 35 plus minutes. His line was 7.5 assists, and he's 9 for 10 in games with 30 plus minutes. So I see him playing big minutes again tonight and getting there again. So
yeah, I like it. I think both those are good. I mean, if you look at those last 5 games against Phoenix on the rebound side, it's not, again, he's not just getting 7 rebounds. He had 10, 11. He's getting big numbers. So the rebound and assist line, maybe just who was the other guy we were talking about, combining the two?
Randall. Yeah,
Randall. Maybe I didn't look at his RA, but there might be something to look at too.
Okay.
And then I just had one other. I like Zubac here. Over 11.5 points. He's done in 9 of his last 10 when he plays 26 plus minutes. 3 straight games against Phoenix when he plays 26 plus minutes. And since Paul George has been out of the lineup, 5 of his last 6 games, averaging 14 points a game without Paul George.
Yeah. Yeah, and he played big minutes. He played 29 minutes last game.
Yep.
So I looked at that as well. 16 for 23 on the season with 29 plus minutes. My only thought was, does Plumlee eat away at his share a little bit tonight just to give him a little bit more rest? But listen, 29 minutes isn't very much.
No.
Not for a playoff game. So I see him getting the same amount of minutes, and he will get there. I think it'll be close. It'll be 12, 13 points, something like that. But I also liked him tonight as well. He's
a nice matchup with 8. He seems to play Ayton really well. He doesn't have a terrible time with him. So yeah, I like that. The other big man, you mentioned Plumlee. I wasn't going to bring this up because I don't know. the line was on props.cash, but I didn't see it on FanDuel or DraftKings. But 2 assists for Plumlee at plus 125. I didn't write it down because I wasn't going to do it, but his numbers against Phoenix, I think he's done in 7 straight games against Phoenix. He seemed to have a decent role in on the Clippers in that last game. So I thought that was another one that I liked, but I don't know if you could find it.
I wanted to play him on various stats. Points as well was very good. But he just I just don't know what you're going to get in terms of minutes out of him. So and then I think, given that I'm big on the superstars tonight and feeling the
Kawhi, I feel it.
I like Kawhi. And I like him because there's not a huge sample for you to go off of him playing 35 plus minutes, which he did in the last game. Mm-hmm. I think he might have played 40. But on the road, his line tonight is 28.5 points. On the road this year with 35 plus minutes, he's 8 for 10. And he's averaging 31.3 points. I didn't even take George out of the equation. I'm sure if you take him out, it's probably even higher. So, my only concern is I think the Clippers are going to have the Suns are going to have to do something different with him. Right? He put up 38 points. I think they're going to have to blitz him and double team him.
They're going to have to double team him because they had KD on him. KD was playing some great defense on him. At the end of that game, they were trying to inbound the ball to Kawhi. KD was all over him. They couldn't even get him the ball. That's why Russ ended up taking the shot at the end of the game. He got fouled and hit the free throws, which was pretty good. But that was KD was all over him. So
that double teaming strategy doesn't really work in the NBA. I was watching the Nets Sixers game last night, and the Nets' whole strategy was to double team Embiid at the top of the key, and all he was doing was just passing it around, and they were just draining threes. So same thing with Kawhi. He's got too many good shooters on this team with him. Yeah. If he gets double teamed, these other guys are going to go off. So So I liked it. It was a lean more than a play.
All right.
All right. So I think that covers it. Anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. It's a lot of good plays here. I'm excited for these games, and looking forward to it. We'll regroup and get some picks up on Twitter shortly.
All right, go Brogdon.
All right.
See ya.